Hi, hello, how are you, Amanda? Seint artist. We're going to be doing a Princess Catherine, Kate Middleton inspired look. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I've been practicing because, like all things, practice makes perfect. Her application is something that's not my use. So I did need to practice. I've biffed it up a little bit and I'm going to give it a try. So if you're watching this, I've finally figured it out. But with all things, practice makes perfect, and it's okay to try something, not be great, and jump back in and try again. It's makeup, it washes off, and it should be fun. And I'm having a lot of fun with this. So I dived in. I never thought of Princess Catherine as a smoky eye, and that girl's a smoky eye. I always thought of her as a light and fresh application, but the more that I look at it, I feel that, when she's home and she does her home stuff, it's very much a no makeup kind of look. But when I notice that she's working, she has a very go to work look. And then when she goes into the evening, she takes her go to work look and just pumps it up using the same colors. So I'm going to be showing you both ways, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. So I've already prepped my lids. I have my brightening highlight on, and now I'm going to go in and prep. So here's the eye look. With a look like this, I definitely recommend doing your eyes first and then doing your face after for fallout. I'm using Mama as my base. I'm using Oak, Coco, and then I'm going to be lining with Salem as well as a pencil liner. All right, let's dig in first. I'm going to set my makeup. I am using the Blur brush. I love this brush, especially for this method of application. It reminds me a lot of my gradient look or my mature eyes look, and I think that this is a look that can grow with you. And it's so lovely for a work look, but it's also great for if you know you're going to be doing something in the evening. So the first thing I'm going to do with the fluffy end, I'm going to go into Mama, and I'm going to set my lid lash to brow, and I'm just creating a really pretty blending surface. Usually I use setting powder or I'll use Cupcake, but for this I wanted something soft with a hint of pink. Insert Mama. It's such a beautiful color. There's not a lot of tone to it. It's just this soft pink undertone. All right, so lash to brow, we're gonna pop this up. Now, I've noticed that she does have hooded eyes, which is great, but she doesn't do the things I talk about with hooded eyes. It's very minimal, and she uses more of the base of her brow bone than going up on her brow bone like what I talk about. The first color I'm gonna go into is on the shorter, more dense end of the Blur brush. It's going to go into Oak, and I'm gonna press a good amount on and tap it off. And I am going to add this to my lid. Just need to figure out where I put it on this brush. Let's grab it, tap it, and go again. All right, so we're tapping this on, and I'm putting this all over the lid. She likes a deep lid. And then we're gonna bring this up, and I'm gonna go into my crease. I swirl out here because I have a heavy hood on the outside, so it comes down farther when I'm fully resting. My crease and I don't know what this is. It's not a tear duct, but a teardrop. The slide, my tears run out, comes down lower than the outer corner. And so with this, I do like to kind of press and swirl on the outer corner. And then I'm going to hold my brush up and down. We're going to grab a little bit more. And I'm going to go up, pressing up and hitting that base of my brow bone. And then I'm keeping this on the outside, coming out a little farther than my outer corner. And then I'm bringing this up to the base. I'm going to flip it to the fluffy end, and I'm just going to give this a nice blend out. Because when she rests, she does not bring it up past that to hide the hood. She lets it just rest naturally, and she doesn't go super bold, which I get, and I think there's rules or something that I read about that. But we're going to bring this up to just the base of that brow bone, not any higher. And this is where I biffed it last time, is I brought it up just way too high. I tried a transition color. I don't think she really has transition colors. So I scratched it. Again, trying it. It makes makeup fun for me to try things that are new to me. All right, back over here, we're going to take that Oak color. This is such a lovely, cool brown tone that goes really well when you have warm brown eyes like little Miss Catherine. Little Miss Catherine, that was rude. All right, I just love her effortless look, and I feel like this is one of those out the door. She can do this. Somebody could do this for her. It's easy. All right, I've brought that out. I've brought that up, and I'm just going to blend it. And I'm going to get right here. I feel like I might have come up a little. Nope, I'm good. And this will all come together and look settled down once the rest of the face is on. I think the rest of the face always just pulls everything back together. All right, so We've got the lid on. I'm going to go into Coco. I'm going to use the fluffy end of this brush, tap it off, and we're just going to deepen the outside right here. Just going to deepen it out just a little bit, just like that. I've been really zooming in, checking things out. Yeah. All right. So getting that outer corner and deepening it using that Coco color. And I like it because Coco is a bit warmer than oak, obviously. And so I think cool and warm go together like peanut butter and jelly. So we're just adding that to that outer corner and working its way in. And it's just pretty. Okay, I'm going to go into my eyeliner next. I feel like this is where I get messed up. And it's where I just go a little too crazy. Oh, this one's toast. Where's my other one? I know I have two. I thought I had more. Do I need to buy more? I live on these things for so long. Okay. We're going to waterline with what's left. We're just going to push this up, and then I'm going to push this out into that lash line. Really good. Getting this side here, going up and over. Push, 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 push. All right. And then I'm going to do my lower lash line on this side first because I'm here. And we're going to push that into my lashes. I'm going to grab my etch brush and I'm going to go into Coco first. And I am going to smoke out this liner using Coco. So here's what happened with me. When I was practicing with this, I did this with Salem and it was just too much. And it wasn't soft enough. But with smoking out a waterline on a lash line, it was good. She does bring it all the way across. That's where her liner is just so different than mine. And I'm just bringing this up to meet. And I noticed that they pull hers down a little lower right here. And they let it. What's nice is I can over smoke this. This is so lovely. I can over smoke this and correct it with doing my makeup after also. All right, so on the other side, I'm going to grab that liner and I'm going to waterline the bottom. All right. I always hit the corner here just to join one waterline to the next, and then we're going to hit a little bit of that lash line. It can be splotchy, it can be messy, it's okay. And then we're going to go into that etch brush again, tapping in to Coco, tap it off, and then rubbing this down and smoking it out. I think using a dark color like Coco and it has that touch of warmth works with the brown eyes. It lightens the brown eyes as they go. I would say I don't look nothing like her, but my brown eyes, I feel like they're close. I think that's the only commonality, but I love a good inspired look. So I'm pulling this all the way across, and then I'm going to bring this out here down just a little bit, and I'm kind of letting it hit that tear trough. I have no idea what this little, if somebody knows, put it in the comments. I want to know. But it's down a little low just on this outside right here. And then we're going to let it join with the top. So it has just uniform bottom to top. All right. I'm going to try something. Woo! This is the best part about playing with makeup. I'm going to spray this short end here with some setting spray. And I'm going to go back into Coco and deepen it. But I tapped it on both sides of this brush. I'm going to grab a little mirror because it just makes things easier. And I'm going to go and I'm going to smoke out the top, and I'm just deepening, and I'm going all the way across. She has a very soft liner, like a shadow, rather than something with a harsh edge like a pencil or like a liquid pen like what I use typically. And then we're just going to bring this up. She goes all the way across. She does pretty much the opposite of everything I do, but she's flawless. Okay, this will lighten as I start adding more makeup. But I will say, when I look at her look, there's one thing I notice. The emphasis is on her eyes and nothing else. Everything else is very subtle. Her contour is very subtle. Her blush, her lips are always, it's all very subtle. All right, so we've gone across. I am going to do this again, going back into Coco with a little bit of a wet, oops, wrong side. I used the wrong side. Boom, boom, bink, bink. There we go. All right. Going in on the top here, and we're going all the way across. I love using the wide width of the etch brush on the shorter end. I think it gives the perfect width for a liner like this. And then we're just going to bring this down and all the way across. And then we can go in with some black. But I think what makes it look a little softer is having the width be brown and the liner be black. Okay, so we're just bringing this out. She does do a little baby wing, and we know I do baby wings, and everybody tells me smallest wing ever. Well, her little wing is small too. I feel like she has the same kind of placement on her crease, the way her hood comes down right here. And so she uses that similar to how I talk about mine, where when I do my wing, I don't like it to leave this top crease because it folds and it droops and it brings my eyes down, whereas hers are not. Okay, we're gonna spray the square end. Get it a little wet. There we go. All right. Got distracted. I saw a bag. I'm like, what's this bag? Okay, sorry. All right, I'm going into Salem. And the way that I do this is I sprayed this brush. I like because it's thin. And I am going to tap and drag, tap and drag, tap, 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 tap. All right? I always keep my black as far away as possible, if at all, in my palette from other colors. And I am going to tap this along my lash line and let this work with that Coco and make that little wing. And I'm going to touch this lash line right here. My eyes are I don't want to say they're sensitive, but they are a touch sensitive when it comes to having a brush with setting spray. And yesterday when I did this, I really went nuts with using this as the liner with the setting spray, and it made my eyes water really bad. And it went into that tear trough droopy slide thing. I don't know what it's called. All right, over here, doing the same thing. I'm going to grab a little more. So tap, drag, tap, drag, tap, 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 tap. And then we're going to go over here. So far, I'm really liking this. I also think that this is an eye combination that can be used with a lot of different outfits, and that's probably why. I could wear pink or yellow or blue or whatever, any color, and this would go with it. Anyways, okay, so getting that little baby wing and then hitting that lash line right here. And then I'm going to go in with another demi brush. This is the Bright brush, and I'm using it because it has this really nice little fluffier end. It's not perfectly clean. I don't really give a crud. We can clean it off, I guess. There's really nothing much on it. And I am just going to kind of bring these together. I'm going to add a little bit of Coco to this, using Coco, putting a little Coco on, and I am going to smoke out what's left over this black here and just kind of blend them together. All right, grab it. This is such a great small eye eyeshadow brush. So I'm just going to use this, and what's nice is I can get out of hand with smoking the eyeshadow out because I haven't done my face yet. So I'm just using Coco to smooth out my liner here where my black mixed with my Coco. And because I used setting powder, or not setting powder, setting spray on the brush, I'm just going to keep adding Coco, and I'm going to leave that dang thing open. It just keeps it where it is really well. Far better than using Black Friday cream liner that doesn't set. You have to put a powder over it to get it to set. So why not just use Salem with setting spray? And it's like using Black Friday and Salem together, but with a less risk of creasing and movement. I don't like the Black Friday. If you're eyeballing the Black Friday, don't. Just get Salem and get your brush wet. It works so much better. So much better. All right. There we go. I am going to take this little fluffy brush that I put all my stuff on with, and we're just going to give everything a final blend. It's so weird not doing my usual, but I'm really liking this. It's very moody. All right, let's do mascara. I already did my brows. And I'm really enjoying this one today. I did a transition color with Bubba yesterday, and it didn't work. I brought it up I brought it up too high, and it was just too warm. All right, going in, we're just gonna add this. Let's zip through this. Okay, this is coming together. This is coming together. I'm gonna go into my oak next. Again, for some touch-ups, I'm just gonna grab this on using that small mirror. I wish they had mirrors on the second layer. Anybody else? That would be nice. And I'm just grabbing that oak for a little bit more of a lighter lid and a cooler lid. That was one thing I noticed. She consistently has a color that is incredibly similar to oak on her lids. I'm going to go ahead and just call that one. I can get everything else wrong, but oak is probably the closest lid color that I've seen when I've been looking at her stuff. And I've done a few inspired looks, and I'm so excited for this one. I do really, really love it. Okay, I'm grabbing the etch brush, going in, and I'm going to just clean up a little bit of liner. So a little bit of black, and we're just going to sharpen up our outer wing here. Just like that. Just a touch. Let's see if I have enough for out here. I'm just getting this outer bit because I do want that to have a nice sharpness to it that's soft like an eyeshadow. Getting a little bit right here. And a little bit right over here. There we go. All right, grabbing that short end, and I'm going in to Coco some more, and I'm just going to deepen and bring it farther down and out because I don't want a lot of fallout into my cream. Boom, boom, boom. Now, when she goes from day to night, I will notice she'll take something like oak, or not oak, like Coco, and she'll just deepen the outer corner. She keeps everything else essentially the same. She just deepens that outer corner. Okay, let's do the makeup, and it's going to soften all of this up. I promise. Now, I have discoloration, and I've noticed that with her, again, the focus is really on her eyes. She does not care if her skin is not even. She very much lets her skin shine through her makeup. I can't do that. So I did correct my redness with some Aspen. Plus, I like the way that using Aspen and Suede on my discoloration holds my makeup better, and I get longevity out of my makeup. So if you're doing this for a workday look, prep with a little bit of that. I would say if you're wanting some longevity. So I'm going to go with a camo look to give me a little bit fuller coverage just on my cheeks because that's where my scarring is. So I'm going to go into Hazel, which is a touch too dark for me. And I'm just going to go over my scarring on the apples of my cheeks. And I'm doing this purposefully because I need this coverage to feel comfortable for the rest of the day because I do have to go out for the rest of the day. I am who I am. But we're going to go in and we're just going to tap this over my scarring, which is just truly on the apples of my cheeks. And that's it. I'm going to do my contour first. So that's why I did my camo color. If you ever hear somebody say use this as your camo color, they're recommending a color that's a touch too dark for your skin for coverage over hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, acne, whatever the case may be. Your camo color is too dark and it is not your foundation color. So that's a camo color. And I wanted to do my contour first because hers is so soft yet sharp. And I feel like the best way to get that without over applying makeup is to do contour first. Hers is very subtle, so I'm going to be using my regular cedar. And I'm using the detail brush because I want to do this right. So I'm going to do what I do. And we're going to add this on, and I am going to put this on the base of my forehead, up on each side, and then over. Bridge it together across the top. You can bring this down depending on the size of your forehead. If you've got a 5 head or a 6 head, just bring this up, and then you can bring this down to where you want, just leaving a touch, like a thumb of brightness right here, and you'll see me do that. All right, so it's all on how you like your forehead to look. I can do a really good forehead. I'm just saying. I don't like to brag about a lot of things, but I can do a really good forehead. All right, so I'm just bridging this around, and I like using something like cedar, stone, olive, or ash because they have a touch of warmth to it. And when you're in the winter, you're not using a lot of bronzer because it pulls pretty orange. So that's why I bring it down extra low, close to my brows. And then I'm going to switch to this end, and we're just going to add a touch of brightness. So I'm going into white peach right here, and we're just going to pop this right in the middle. You only need a little dot right here, and then you push it over your brows. And just like that, this gives you coverage, this gives you brightness, reflection, and then as it blends into your contour, it is giving you an even skin tone, but it's giving you dimension. So I'm using the big end just to pull that brightness into that contour and letting them work together. All right, I need to pull my contour up this way. All right, postpartum hair loss, guys. How long is it supposed to last? Because my hair is taking forever to grow back. I have a 7-year-old. My baby is 7, and it's just always, anyways, I'm not getting into that. Anyway, okay, I've tried all the things. I've tried all the drinks. I've tried all the juices. I've tried all the pills, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. I'm fine. It's fine. We're fine. Okay, so I've got my forehead done. It is a very light coverage, but being able to use a lighter color, your brightening color is a little, the way the bridge color is too dark, your light color is a little bit too light to give that illusion of reflecting light where the light shines off. It's working with that, but it's also using that contour with it is allowing you to have that dimension, and everything in your palette is foundational coverage. All right, so there is that. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna do my nose. And then we're going to talk about the cheeks because the cheeks are where they focus. When it comes to the face and the contouring, they contour it all, but they really focus on the shape of her apples into her cheek area. And as you mature, you lose volume in the apples. And I was really zooming in to see how they do that. So we're going to do our nose first. And I'm just bringing that in on each side. On the top side, if they touch, no big deal. If you bring it too far over, that's okay. Sometimes it's better. And so I'm just putting that in and I'm following my brows. I'm feeling like I'm nailing this look. Yesterday when I was at this point, I had already wanted to stop like 5 times. I pulled it all the way to the end and then said, screw this, and turned it off. But I feel like this might be it. All right, so I'm pushing this up. I am taking into account my discoloration, so I am doing some of my things, but I am most definitely trying to stay in her color realm, which is she likes a very light, subtle contour. So it doesn't need to be super punchy, super bold, and this palette can be whatever you want. Grabbing a bit of brightening, and then I'm going to come down the middle of the nose. I'm going to use my finger, and I'm just going to get my nose contoured. I like tapping my brightening. I feel like I have a little more control, whereas I feel like a brush can make it too blended out, too wide, and I'm trying to slender my nose. Okay, so I like using my finger, and that's my nose. All right, let's talk about the cheeks. Okay, so she has this really great cheek shape. I'm going to go in on the side of my detail brush, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to start back here. I usually bring mine up. Hers comes to the side here, and she smiles, and I notice they follow. So I'm going to blend it mainly back here. And then as she smiles, you see that shape right there? I'm going to follow that, and we're just going to play with it a little bit. And that's it. Now, this is where I say I like doing the contour first because you get that sharpness. So we're going in on the side again. Flip my hair. I should have just pulled it up. But we're going to get that back side right here. I usually go up, and I'm trying to correct my habits. Straight out, we're going to smile so we can see the shape of our apples, so we can follow the apple with this contour. I typically, my hair, come to me for more hair tips, but I also use this Wow stuff. Wow hair product. It was doing it with Wow. Okay, so I'm trying to correct my stuff and I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, because my hair. I'm trying to follow this. Typically, this is what I was saying. Typically, when I talk about contouring, I say don't come in past your outer corner, but they accentuate the apples of her cheeks because we lose volume as we mature, and doing this helps to make it look like you have a little bounce. My husband's home. All right. Boom. Just like that. Okay, so I like the way that she has a soft contour, but it's also chiseled. So I am going to grab my main highlight now, and I'm using the blush and bronzer. I'm sticking to the brushes I'm the most comfortable with. So we're grabbing this here, and I am going to add a little bit of white peach because I'm going to go right here at the base of my jawline and pull down my neck. My neck is always lighter than my face. So for coverage, I just tap in and I lighten my main highlight a bit, but I don't want it as light as white peach. And so this is how I handle that. So again, going into my Athens, tapping into white peach, bridging right here, and then bringing it down and up, just like that. Okay, we're gonna go into the main highlight, and I'm gonna show how I feel I would do this for this inspired look. I'm gonna go into my main highlight, and I'm gonna balance my skin. So my skin is just a little off balance, so I bring it up, and I'm going to use it to clean up that contour. You see that? And then I can come up into my mouth area and give myself my coverage and bring it up just a bit. All right? And I'm being a bit careful because I don't want to mess up this contour, but I could easily switch my brush and come back over it like that. Easy peasy. This is a big fat brush, so you know. All right, so going over my discoloration here, getting that coverage and cleaning up that contour line while following that cheek. Woo! And then we're bringing it a bit up, giving myself coverage on my chin. There we go. I'm going to grab this detail brush again, just like the other side. I'm just going to soften the edge a bit, keeping it where it is. Okay. But keeping that plump look of the cheek right here. And just using the small end of the detail brush, just like that. Okay, under eyes. I'm going to not do my correcting because she keeps it very subtle. So I'm adding a little bit of balm because I don't want to accentuate maturity, my fine lines and my stuff. So I always add this, but I'm going to go in on the small end of my detail brush into my main highlight. And I am going to go under my eyes just like I do with my typical brightening. And I'm correcting my discoloration with my main highlight, and I'm bringing it up and then bringing it down, making sure to not mess up my nose contour like that. Then we can go into white peach, and we can add just a touch of brightness on this inner corner and outer corner here, and it's not going to be as bold. And then we'll be setting it, and we're going to be putting some blush and stuff on. All right, going into that main highlight, getting under the eye and getting that coverage. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling really good about this. I feel like I did it. Bringing to that inner corner, fixing my nose contour. All right, and getting that. I need to have my hair pinned up. I'm getting this far and figuring that out because it's just this side is driving me crazy. Ugh. There we go. Okay. So we're getting that on, putting this up, and we're not wanting to take away from the smokiness. Grabbing that brightening, and I'm going to get that inner corner and out here. She doesn't use shimmer. I notice that she doesn't use shimmer, which I'm okay with that because I don't like shimmer either because I'm oily. But I'm just using my finger to blend out and to touch this all up. Okay, let's talk about the blush. Okay, I'm using Pink Grapefruit and Frenchie because remember how I said I have scarring? I'm going to use Frenchie, and she likes her pinks. She loves her pink blushes, and so I'm going to place Frenchie because her blushes also stay low on the cheek. I'm going to use Frenchie over my scarring here because this pink will pull it through. So I'm putting that on. I'm going into my blush and bronzer. I'm going to go into Pink Grapefruit here, and I'm going to tap this on. Now, when she goes out in the evenings, she takes this contour and just deepens it up. And then she uses the same pink tone and just deepens it up. So if it were me and I was going from a day look to a night look, I would grab Dahlia and punch this up with Dahlia. All right, so I'm smiling. I'm going to see exactly where those apples are. I'm bringing that pink down low on the cheeks, not up high. And out, not up. I keep wanting to go up out of habit. And then I'm going to use this, just meld everything together. Okay, I feel like this is going really well. Okay, so we're going out on the outside. Again, not coming. I usually bring my blush all the way up And then I'm going to smile and I'm going to hit that low part of the apple. I'm going to get a mirror closer to my face. And we're just going to keep that low and up. And then I always just use the fluffy end to just marry it all together. All right, I'm going to set this. I'm using Urban Decay. Stay slick. I'm going to spray my face, and while it's still damp, I'm going to do what I do. And I'm going to use the fluffy end, and I'm going to go into my setting powder. And we're going to go over this. I always start on the perimeter and bring it in because we don't want to add a bunch of texture. And so I always start on the outside and work in. And then when I think it's empty, I'll hit my under eyes with it. And do you see how it just brought it all together? All right, we're going in over here, starting on the outside, bringing it in. And I like to do this when my face is still somewhat damp from the setting spray. Okay, grabbing that setting spray one more time and doing a light mist over it. And I'll take that fluffy brush without powder and just press it in. Okay, let's talk about the lips. She doesn't do, you know, the full lips, the pouty lips, and I love that because I don't have those either. She does add a touch of shadow here, and she doesn't do any emphasizing of the upper lip. And she has nice, pretty, petite lips. I am going to go in with my contour, and I'm just going to go just right here, like I always do, but keeping it a touch more subtle, and it just adds that little lip. All right. There is a liner. Her lips are almost always completely neutral. And so I'm going to be using, I didn't grab my lipstick color I had picked out. I'm using Desert Sunset. It is a gloss and it is very neutral. It's got a peachy tone to it that keeps it a very natural lip color. There we go. That's how easy that was. All right. So I'm going to be using Indigo. Yes, it's dark. Trust me on this. This is going to be the lightest, neutralest lip you've ever seen. All right. We're going to go in with a multitasker brush and we are going to line on the edge. This isn't a thick line. I'm not filling in on the inside. I'll show you. I'm lining my lips, but I usually fill in the outer corners, and I'm going to skip on that. Going to lighten that, grabbing it, and we're going to line along the lip, and then we're going to line along the lip. All right. And while this is still on, and it looks really dark, we're going to go in on the big end. We're going to grab Desert Sunset here, and we're going to go and fill it in. It's always a nice soft, it's not a bright sticky gloss. It's always a very nice subtle sheen of lipstick. And I think our glosses give that look without it having that sticky gloss look. And so I'm just taking Desert Sunset and going over it. And then I'm going to use my finger to blend them together. And this, I think I'm going to take this out. We're going to see how I feel about my Catherine look. Gosh, I want her hair. I want her. I feel like this is really good. I'm going to get my etch brush on this short end, and I'm so stinking happy with this. So this is my Catherine inspired look. A lot of Coco, a lot of oak, and a touch of Salem. But it's just this really nice, this lip, you were probably scared when I said Indigo, like everybody usually is. But she does have a line because she does want that definition of her lip without accentuating her lips too much. So she doesn't pout them out a lot. She keeps them very nice and tidy and lovely. And her blushes are always subtle. I feel like the emphasis is always on her eyes, and everything else is just a subtle accentuation. And I love how light her coverage is. I wish I could do that. I'm always so insecure about my discoloration, and that's a me problem. But she lets her skin show, and I love that. But she does have her touches of things that she likes. And again, if it were me and I was going out at night, I'm thinking she adds a color like Dahlia. Where's Dahlia in here? Where's my Dahlia? Okay, here it is. All of a sudden I couldn't find it. It's this bright pink. And so if I were to punch this up for her evening looks, I think she just adds and makes it a little bit more pink where it's like this. So she goes from day, subtle, to night, where it's just pink, and it's just taking those contours and deepening them. Let me grab my contour, and I'm going to make it a contour depth. So we'll take it and we will move our hair, and we'll just add a touch of her contour into it like that. We'll go in and we'll blend these together. And that's it. She still has the same concept. She just deepens her eyeshadow a little bit with some extra Cocoa, but she'll take this soft pink cheek and just bump it up and add a little bit more depth to her contour. And that's the only difference of her day look to her night look. And did you see how easy that was? And it was just adding a little bit more pink. It's simple. This is long, but this is a great way to have a great everyday look where you're not talking all the time and taking forever, but also having a look that can easily transition to the evening. It's everybody's makeup. She is everybody. You know, we all want to be that effortless, easy, whimsical. But I just loved investigating her makeup and really looking at the application and wanting to try it myself and not overcomplicating it. This was a very simple eye look. It's just oak with a Cocoa outer corner and a nice black eyeliner. It was so easy. And I'm so glad I tried it, and it's been so fun. So this is is it Kate Middleton or Princess Catherine? We don't know. I don't know. Not we. I don't know. But that's it. Have a great day. I'm going to show some pictures of my inspiration pictures that I found on Pinterest that I used to try to figure this out. But I've had so much fun showing this. Okay, have a great day.